welcome back to my opera channel, where today we're not talking about opera. It is the best season to read books because it gets dark so early, so it's the perfect time to cuddle up with a cup of tea and a new book. And yeah, I thought I would take you through the books that I read in the last year. And I'm a very slow reader, so there aren't that many of them. And give you my reviews of the books. So, let's just get right into it, right? I'm gonna have to put my tea down because it's just too hot to drink. And I need two hands. That's the biggest problem. I definitely mentioned this book before. It's just really good and I keep recommending it to people. And I guess I started in December last year, but I kept reading it till January because, like I said, slow reader. But that is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I love this book so much. It has had a lot of love given to it because none of my books survive. But it's just a really good read, and if you haven't read it yet, I found this actually very relatable when I was reading it, which sounds weird because she's not a very relatable character, I guess. I found it very, very true, and I loved it a lot. Would recommend any day of the week, all the time. I feel like it must be said, she's probably made some of the best movies of all time. But the next book is very short, and I was very hungry while reading it because she has a lot of great recipes in there, which I should go back and write out the recipes. I'm sure someone has done that already, but I'm really tempted to do that as well. Or I'll Google it. Heartburn by Nora Ephron. I love any Nora Ephron film. Basically, Nora Ephron, Meg Ryan, and Tom Hanks or Billy Crystal just gets me in the greatest moods of all time. But this book was glorious. Read it actually relatively quickly. No, that's a lie. I read it very slowly. It was in my pocket for a very long time, but it survived beautifully, which is very rare for moi. But yeah, great book. The next book I read, I actually never got through it. I couldn't finish it, which happens to me quite a bit. But this one was specifically difficult because there was just a lot of... if you're creating a fictional world, I didn't understand why political views of today had to be in a fictional world. Like, it just... if you're going dystopian, go dystopian, don't go halfway dystopian, in my opinion. And I didn't really like it, so I stopped in the middle. Maybe if I have time, I'll give it another chance. But it took me so long to get into it. And then once I got into it, I was really into it. And then I started to get really mad. So then I was just like, I don't have the energy to put into this. And that is The Power by Nomi Alderman. Alderman? But yeah, it was like, it's interesting. It's a good concept, but as you see, I'm like smack dead in the middle of it. But we'll see. I'm not sure about this one. I don't know if I would recommend it. Women have power to electrocute people from their hands and under their skin. So why are we talking about the same political issues as we have today? I don't know. That's just, maybe I'm wrong, but that's my own opinion. I don't like it. Next up was a recommendation from a friend of mine. I don't know, while reading the book, I didn't like it, but I did love it, and I couldn't put it down, and I actually read it really quickly, and I couldn't wait to finish it, but I was really mad the entire time. Does this make any sense? I feel like I either get really mad or really enjoy. Conversation with Friends by Sally Rooney. I read it pretty quickly, actually. You kind of have to give it a minute to understand the style of her writing and how she... Does that make sense? Like, you have to get into her rhythm of writing. Once you do, I was kind of obsessed. Like, I just really loved reading it. But I was also... It's the first time that I've read a book that I really didn't like any of the characters. And that's not very me. I usually, when I read a book, like, I envision myself as one of the characters. But here, I didn't want to be any of the characters. So I was not very, like, personally attached to it. But it was really good. Really good. Just cutting from the regular content of this video. But I wanted to talk to you about my SoundCloud project, which is basically a way to fund this YouTube channel so I can make more videos, more content, and have more things happening. It is kind of like Patreon, except it's run through the Royal Academy of Music, and the link is down below. And I only have till the 23rd of December, so Christmas Eve, or the first night of Hanukkah, to actually raise the money I need to be able to buy better equipment and hire out help and all sorts of things. So please, if you've enjoyed any single one of my videos, please check out the link below. Just £1 will go a long, long way. So yes, consider it. All right, back to the usual content. So then I took a break from Sally Rooney once I was done with that, and I went on to Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. My, oh my, it was really funny. When I watched the series, a lot of other things made a lot more sense, but the reason I read the book is to watch the series because I felt like I wasn't allowed to watch it without reading it, because someone might have said something about that. Yeah, a lot of fun. I kind of wish I would have read it more out loud, if that makes sense, because when I read things out loud, like, I can hear them more. My brain's weird. Yeah, really funny. Took me about a month and a half to read because I kept like reading big chunks and then not getting excited to read again. But then when I was in it, I was like reading it a lot. It's genuinely a funny read and great for a vacation book. And I would definitely recommend this one to younger people too. And it's amazing to me. It's amazing how this was written when was this written? This was published in 1990, and all of the topics that are discussed in this book are discussed today still. It's like we were talking about climate change a lot. People knew it was a bad thing, yet we're still here years later, not changing anything, creating more plastic. Why? Says as she buys more and more books. But we knew it. We knew it already. Why don't we listen to ourselves? It is a great read. After that, I started the Essex Serpent, which I would love to finish. As you see, I'm really right at the beginning, but I had to put it down because it's written very poetically and I need time and brain space to read that way, but it is written beautifully and I feel like I'm really going to enjoy it, and if I saw it cinematically, I would definitely love the film, but the reading process of it is a little difficult for me just because my brain's a bit the way it is. I can't wait to actually sit and have time. So I'm going to keep this to read again over Christmas vacation thing when I have more time to like sit and stew in a book and not like on the commute. I'm sure if I got into, what page am I on? If I got to page 100, I'm on page 48 now, then it wouldn't be an issue because I would have the rhythm of the writer's style. But since I don't have the writer's style of rhythm of writing in my head, it's really difficult. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. And I know that it has many great reviews. And I've wanted to read this for a really long time. I think back when I was living in Holland, I saw it in the bookstore and I was just like, this looks like a really great book. I don't know, something about it just... It's The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry, one of the most memorable historical novels of the past decade by the Sunday Times. Something like that talks to me. I love period books. Like, that sounded bad, but I do love. So it's on my Christmas season book read list. Then I went back to Sally Rooney and I read Normal People, which I read in a week. I could not put it down. It was so good. And I actually did enjoy a lot of the characters. And it's just really good. I don't want to give it away, but you're just looking at the characters and you're just like, but it's so well written. And I was, because I had already understood her rhythm of writing, picking this up was just like rereading. It was very hard to differentiate the two books because I read them so close together. So it was very hard to realize that they're not the same characters. But at the same time, it was very easy because I liked a lot of these characters and I found them very relatable and lovely. And I just, I felt really bad for some of them sometimes. It is really great. So Normal People by Sally Rooney. Then, this isn't a book like a novel, but I had to mention these. My local tube station has like a bunch of books that you can just pick up and take and, people like kind of like a giveaway pile. My boyfriend discovered these two, which are stories of famous operas by Mrs. Stanley Wrench, which I love how, I'm not sure if her name's actually Stanley or she just had her husband's name because of the time. And then another one, which was more stories of famous operas by Mrs. Stanley Wrench. They are so good because they're just basically synopses like I do on this channel. But they have it's just a really great cheat sheet. And there were some interesting operas in here that were considered like very famous of the time, but we don't even know them. I mean, we just don't perform them. But yeah, like the Bohemian Girl, which is coming in a video soon. Very interesting. Very excited about these. So stay tuned because there are more synopses coming. I just need to sit down and do them. And finally, right now, I am reading The Muse by Jessie Burton, and it is glorious. So I'm absolutely loving it. It's jumping between two different decades in the 20th century. Oh, it's like following this piece of art, and I really love it, and it gives me all the feels. It's written really well, and I get sucked in right away. Like I open up the book, and I'm like, oh, I'm there. It's very visual, and I'm on page. What page am I on? I'm almost 200 pages in, and I only started this last week-ish. I officially started reading it, I would say, about 2 weeks ago. And I'm 150 pages in, and I'm only reading on my commute, and it's beautiful. I'm loving it. So yes. So yeah, that's all for now. Those are the books that I've read in 2019, because I'm assuming I'm not going to read anything after. I'm going to try the Essex Serpent afterwards, and that's going to be all the books I read in 2019. But please comment down below with any recommendations for books that I should read in 2020. And I'm trying to not buy as many books and borrow from friends if possible. So friends, if you have any books that you would like me to read or would recommend that I read, please send them my way. Let me know. Comment down below. Yes. Anyway, that's all, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video. And please do let me know what your favorite books to read are. I will see you all next week in a new video because I make one every single one Monday. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you can be notified when I make a new video. And in the meantime, have a great week. Drink lots and lots of tea. And go see an opera. Let me know what you went to see. Use the hashtag Diva Studies or tag me in anything that you go see so I can see that you're there and we can share experiences. I love it. I love it. I love when you guys do that. Anyway, bye!